Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
A new season is officially upon us, Sim500, and the North Carolina 811.org Grand National Series getting ready to kick off another season, 2023, officially here as we get you to the World's Center of Speed, the Daytona International Speedway, virtually on iRacing. I am the captain, Chris Gallo. We appreciate you joining us here this evening. Of course, getting ready to rock and roll, dusting off things, and ready to go racing tonight here in this 200-miler, 80 laps of racing about to take place. New season upon us, which means we've got some new things. One of the new things we'll be talking about, no more halfway bonus like we've had in previous seasons. That is now gone, so it's straight up 80 laps of racing, no bonus points or anything like that when it comes down to it. That's number one. Number two, we do keep the 28 race traditional season. That is going to continue throughout this season. 18 of the 20 races, though, the drivers have to run to be eligible for the playoffs. There are 2 drop races also that will count those races. So a lot of interesting things we'll talk about here throughout the night. But Daytona, of course, is here. It is the 2.5-mile speedway, 79 degrees, 54% humidity under partly cloudy skies with 2-mile-an-hour winds. It's the traditional iRacing weather, and we get ready to go racing here for 80 laps, as I mentioned here at the World Center of Racing. The other new thing that you are noticing, yes, NC811, they have jumped on board for the Xfinity series also this season. So not only are you going to see those guys all over us on Mondays and covering the series there, you're going to see them on Sunday, which is fantastic news. Very happy to have them along the ride with us here in the series. It's going to be a fun 2023. Of course, you get both the Cup and the Xfinity series here on the Captain Esports Network, so things are going to look fantastic over the 2023 run. So we're looking forward to what is going to happen here in the very near future. So let's go through some information about the race. As I mentioned, 80 laps, 200 miles, 100% fuel. There are 3 sets of tires and also 2 green-white checkers in the race. As I mentioned, the 28 races, 2 drops, and you got to make 18 of 20 races to be eligible. The previous winners, of course, last season, E.J. O'Rourke. He went to victory lane in this race, and not sure if he'll make an appearance here tonight. We'll see, but one person that is here, of course, is Pedro Mojica, who could be easily the favorite when this thing is all said and done. So we'll have to keep an eye on what Pedro can do here this evening. Now, as you see, Jimmy North, Randy Yoakum, there's Daniel Falkingham, the new driver for the Joe Gibbs Racing stable. He, of course, is no longer a part of this series due to the rules about drivers being pro in the series. So, obviously, we wish him best. I know he ran in the Clash last week, part of that series. So, we'll see how that goes, how he does throughout the season. All right, cars going out for warm-up. We'll talk about some more things here, and a lot of fun coming up here throughout this race and throughout the season. As I mentioned, 28 races coming up here this season, and of course the Cup Series coming up on Mondays starting next week. You will notice, and I'll correct myself here, I did mistakenly look at the schedule and thought tonight was the 12th apparently, and I put tomorrow for the Cup race, so we'll get that fixed up. But Cup race, or the duels for the Cup, are next week, by the way, on Monday, so there will be no broadcast tomorrow night, and so on and so forth. The streak continues. Tommy Ryan on the pole again for the season opener at Daytona. This man is on a streak that's Jimmy Johnson-esque, except when it comes to pole sitter, when it's all over with. So let's pull him up here and congratulate him on winning the 811 pole award. First things first, let's get me up to my room, and then let's bring Tommy up here as this man kicks off the season. Seems like he does every season, and that is with the pole here at Daytona. Congratulations, Tommy, once again. Groundhog Day strikes a couple days later than the actual date. You are the 811 pole award winner tonight. Congratulations, man.
Yep, thanks a lot. It's 5 years going, a little bit of R&D, to figure this, how to make the thing go fast and don't let the RPM drop. So paid off.
So the question I have is, how do we change the luck, though? Because last season, I don't think we spoke to you in Victory Lane at all in the Cup or the Truck or the Xfinity Series. How do we change the luck?
I just got to make better decisions and just run a little harder and just be a little more aggressive, I think, which is not really my style. But, if you got to win these things, you got to muscle your way up through there. And I'm more of a laid-back kind of racer.
Right.
But I try to make smart decisions and have fun at the same time.
Well, I want to call him your compadre there next to you, Tyler Dalton. He seems to always start there next to you. So, but in the end, strategy tonight. What do we do to go to Victory Lane at Daytona? Because, like you said, you're a laid-back person.
Yeah, if it doesn't get too crazy up front, I'd like to try to maintain track position, but if things get really stupid early, and then I'll probably have to drop to the back, and it can go either way. I mean, you can get wrecked about anywhere here, the front, the back, wherever. It's just you just got to be in position with really with about 2 to go, because if you get too far back and it's like, okay, it's 5 to go, now it's time to go. And then everybody's trying to go, and then you got 3 lanes, and there's nowhere to go. So it's just that timing thing.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck tonight.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Tommy Ryan going to bring them through 3 and 4 right now. As you see the starting lineup going across your screen, we'll get him down to his team, of course, in Unacceptable Racing. As I mentioned, 80 laps tonight going to make up the grid. 38 starters, including Brian Wortman and Casey Duncan there on the final row. Tommy Ryan, the 811. Know it's below, call before you dig. Pole sitters, we come to the green, the start of 2023 here in Sim500 in the Grand National Series, presented by North Carolina. 811.org is green. A couple cars did not make the start, and one of the names is Pedro Mojica. He started in the pits along with Jeff Ryan, it appears, and Mark Creighton and Mason Branch having some issues. Not sure what's happened to the 88, but he has jumped the pit road already at the start of the race, so that's a wild first lap, to say the least. But our camera site, presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook. And they're in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com as we complete lap number 1. Tyler Dalton going to be the leader. Jimmy Coleman there on that outside lane. One car moving to the back already there on that inside line. Not sure who that was. Obviously playing this very careful right now. Got the 60, John Higman Jr. Up there in that top side, that 2 car of Mike Kelly, that gold paint scheme. Randy Oakham, Bob Gillenwater, Doy Woods up here in the top 10 also right now. As that time around, Tyler Dalton leading. We did have some technical issues tonight, so I do want to apologize for that. And I was definitely wanting to get on earlier to talk to some people, but some things came up and unfortunately got in our way. And we were able to get on the air, and here we are racing for the first of 28 Xfinity races here tonight. And of course, with the Daytona 500 next week, this will be the only race for 2 weeks, and then next week, we'll take that off for the 500, and the following week will be race number 2, and it will be the Homestead at Miami Speedway. So we'll go right down I-95 into the Turnpike to South Florida for race number 2 of this season. As a matter of fact, yeah, should be a pretty fun race when it's all said and done. As Jared Livingston jumping out of line there. So everybody just being patient. This is one of those leagues. If you've never watched a Sim500 Super Speedway race, you're in for a treat here, because this is, I could argue, one of the best leagues I broadcast when it comes to a super speedway race. These guys will go 2, 3 wide and do what they need to do. But one thing that's a factor tonight is the fact that the track temp here is very steamy, if you will. And as a matter of fact, let's throw the weather up on the right-hand side there. 130-degree track temp. That's pretty blistery for the month of February, as Dalton continues to lead that top side. One guy that I always bring up when it comes to aggression, Kevin DeBrown in that 93 car. He is one we'll keep an eye on here tonight, because he will push anyone. He'll push the pace car if he has to the front. Woods running a light 28 car. He's got a Davey Allison paint on there tonight. Not tonight, I should say. Right now, logging laps. Bobby Skinner, appreciate you watching. Asking for me to show the Calantoni mobile. The 84 car. There's Kevin. He started his race last season. There he is. In the Talking Giants number 84. Kyle Larson looking paint scheme with the, I'm assuming, New York Giants blue on there. Running 17th right now. As 3 wide up the middle comes Tommy Ryan, as Jatina, the boss man, going to the bottom, showing some aggression. Chad Coleman there at the bottom with Mike Kelly. Randy Yoakum, the 2020 winner of this race, there at the bottom. As there's Justin Fuller, the 51 up the middle. And look who's behind Fuller. Didn't I just say something about Kevin Brown? Tommy said he was going to be smart. He gets pushed up the middle there. Bobby Wetzel there in the 9 car. I'm not sure if Doy intentionally put that paint scheme on his car, but it looks like somebody started to put a wrap on the car and then just kind of broke the wrap and it stayed that way. Kind of interesting the way that looks. Wetzel back here in a mellow yellow paint scheme, a little different than what I'm used to seeing him in. laps in the books. Jason Branch was unable to, he pretty much all but completed a lap and is towed back to pit road. Not sure what has happened there, but tough break for the Virginia driver of the 88 car tonight. If you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Hope you got some friends out there, and I know obviously the NASCAR race is going on right now, and but the way the schedule worked out, this race is going on tonight as they will go around the Jeff Ryan number 3 car and put him a lap down after he started on pit road. One car blinking back there mid-pack. Ron Holyfield, that Mobile 1 number 11 back there, squirting his way through the field. Ron looking to get himself a good start to the season. Talking Giants versus the world. Not sure exactly if you want to share the info about the podcast, like what it's about or whatever. I'd be glad to talk about it for a second. I'm assuming it's football, but I've been wrong plenty of times. Already 10 laps in. Should be a one-stop race or close to it to get to the finish of this race. Obviously pending cautions and that kind of thing. You get to lap 40, you build the thing up, take some tires, and you get on back out there and go to the finish here at Speed Weeks. Of course, we've already had a preseason Thunder race with the All-American ARCA Series. That was on Friday night. We had the AI 87 race that we had on the stream. That was won by Earnhardt. Of course, the Saturday night we did the 2006 Daytona 500 AI race. Tonight it's this, and then we'll take tomorrow night off. And then there'll be a couple of races that I do myself, and then come back on Friday, the All-American ARCA Series with their Daytona season opener, as Tommy gets back to the lead with help from Fuller. The pod that hates the world and kills mascots. Alrighty then. More power to you guys, and all the best. Appreciate you guys watching on the stream tonight. Pennick and Doug and Bob's Pool Service, appreciate you. AM Football, Simple Man Radio. As Jatina in that 14 car taking her to the front. As I mentioned, this is the North Carolina 811 Cup Series. Or, sorry, Grand National Series. I might have to break a quarter jar out for myself because I'm probably going to get that name wrong just from all the races I did last season. As Fuller maybe going to get shuffled topside as there goes Tyler Dalton. Up the middle. Tyler going up there trying to help his teammate there in the Sim500 Mafia, the boss man there, Jatina, as I mentioned. But everybody doing a great job being patient there. Bob Gillenwater down there at the bottom. Jeff Ryan, he's a lap car, 5th one inside lane right now, but obviously hoping to maybe get a yellow that'll get him back on the lead lap. couple new drivers in the series this season. Of course, there was the merge that happened last season with GOAT Racing, and you see some of the drivers here tonight in that series. Samuel Harrell being one of them here in the 84 car. Sam started 35th, and he's up to 18th here in the Cabela's number 43 car. Chad Coleman and Kevin DeBrown swapping the lead up front now. As you see Wetzel out of line now. Those two cars there's three cars actually that this field is coming up on, and one of them is a pretty big name in the field, and that of course is last season's champion Pedro Mojica in the 58 car. There he is, trying to get away from these guys. Pedro started on pit road in that Trans Service number 58, new colors, new sponsor, same Pedro. They're going to need to get tandemed up and pushing pretty hard to keep this pack being led by Kevin DeBrown now up front. Coleman up there giving it. You got to be careful with that push where you get him at. Well, Bobby, hope you're appreciating. I knew that, but I hope you're enjoying the stream. And if you are, man, share it with the friends. Get them over here watching. Family or whatever. Let's do it. Oh, Jatina got loose right in front of the field. One car on its lid, and we have a junkyard in turn one. Casey Duncan, Jose Gonzalez involved, it looks like. Man, it looked like Joey's car just swapped ends. Boy Woods, Yoakum gets in it. So does Jeff Ryan. Casey Duncan goes a ramping. Justin Fuller gets a piece. Comstock's on his lid. See Doug Sigmund coming through the grass here. Gonzalez. Nice of Jeff Ryan or Bobby Wetzel, who's involved to flip Comstock back over. 09 of Nigel Standish involved. Jimmy Coleman, another big name right there involved. This is a big break for Pedro and those guys who were just about to get lapped. On board here. He got loose. Sure did. Man. We'll come back and look at more replays, but leaders pitting here, it looks like. And Kevin DeBrown's going to win that race. Looks like everybody just topping off the fuel cell, I think, here. Let's get some more look here from Tom Dreiling here in the 34 car. On board Ron Holyfield here in the 11. And everybody's piling in. We do what everybody wants. Looks like he's good. Bobby Wetzel here. Unfortunately, just joins the pile. Hey, if you ever want to know what the underbody of a car looks like, drive shaft, there's the mufflers, all the connections. All right, so going to come back to green here this time. So Kevin DeBrown leads, Mike Kelly, Tommy Ryan, Chad Coleman, Bob Gillenwater. As we'll come back to green, lap number 22 here. Going to spread the feel out just a little bit there. How about that Serve Pro number 71, Casey Duncan there. Pedro Mojica right up into the top 10 now after having all that breakout. And, of course, now we have to keep track of what cars have engine damage, what cars don't. One up top there, that is Steven Marinick. Another new name into the series. Jose Speedy Gonzalez there to 26, went through the grass. He's up there topside in that blue iRacing car. Jose won 2 of the last 3 races actually last season, if I remember correctly. Or is that, I'm sorry, that was the truck series I'm thinking of. Sorry, I'm not that cool of a person yet, but I appreciate it. '53 of Bill Hales. Looks like from what I'm seeing, a lot of cars are able to continue, but I'm sure they're going to be down on speed. Got a couple modifieds back there in the back. As Chad Coleman, that Georgia driver, takes himself to lead. He almost had Marinek make the mistake that about 90% of us on iRacing have done. Push the guy to the lead and then pull down like nobody's there and forget, oh, there's a car door inside still. Usually doesn't end well for anybody. We got the second pack of cars back here. These guys got a lot of damage on their cars, unfortunately. As Marinek now going to the front at lap 25. Here are the next 5 races right there for this Grand National Series. I'm going to keep wanting to call it Xfinity Series. But the Grand National Series here, of course, Homestead, Miami, as I mentioned, February the 19th after a week off, and February 26th from Auto Club Speedway, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta. The next 5 races, all of them on the Captain Esports Network, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bob Gillenwater in the 4 car. 15 there on his outside. That is Joe Hudson. See the cars kind of moving around, being careful, trying to watch how they push here. You don't want to push the pusher either. A lot of team name guys down there at the bottom. Jose Gonzalez up top there. You had Tommy Ryan still there top side. Tom Dreiling up in the 8th position. Tom was one of those replays we showed, and he went piling into that wreck. Somehow has come out unscathed. I mean, when I look over at the cars that are out right now, Randy Yoakum is 1 car out of the race. Combine to complete 28 laps here in just a second. We're going to step away just for a quick minute, get you a quick word from our sponsor, which is North Carolina 811.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
There you go. Make sure you check them out. North Carolina 811, NC811.org. If you are wherever you are in the United States, you can check out their website at whatever state you're in, 811.org. Make sure you call before you dig. Very important. 1, it's against the law to just dig before you call. So you want to do the calling. But 2, you never know what is important down below the ground. You never know what kind of lines are down there. Of course, a lot of internet now goes below the ground with fiber optic. And so many different things, especially with all the weather we've had recently with these storms and stuff. Be careful and call 811 before you dig. We appreciate the North Carolina group of 811 people for joining us, but every state in the United States has an 811, including where I'm at in Georgia, including that random person that's probably watching up in Washington. Oh, wait, that's Casey Duncan Racing. Ha 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 ha. 31 laps complete. Only the one caution so far. And we have 31 cars on the lead lap. And the reason why I know, in this series, when we run super speedways, it's the only series I can sit there without having to look over at my telemetry and see the colored names I have, because they separate each name by color of who's on the lead lap and not. Here, there's a guy I look for in this series. Brian Wortman. Wherever Brian Wortman is, that's the last car in the lead lap. How do I know? Not because he's lost the draft in this situation, but normally he's the last car in line. But unfortunately for Brian, he's lost the draft. But Wortman usually just hangs out. And worked for him last season in the Trans Service Winter Truck Series. He went riding in the back in Atlanta, and they piled up coming through turn 4, and guess who won that race? He'll be there later. So handling, we see, has become a big factor in this race. You saw it happen to Joey Jatina at about lap number 19. Car just got loose up there on that top side. So you know these cars are going to be very careful here, getting all spread out, giving each other plenty of room. I'm sure your neighbor was mad at you, Mr. Skinner. Randy Oakham leaving the pits. Unfortunately, multiple laps down there in that number 811 car. As a matter of fact, I mentioned Tommy Ryan earlier, the pole sitter is racing. He got himself a little 811 look. He himself is a part of Virginia, but he's got the North Carolina 811 car there at 99 there, the second car in line. There's plenty of drivers in this race tonight with the representation. Tyler Dalton in the 19 car. Tyler running 25th right now. He's got some heavy damage on that car. You see him with the 811 logo on his car. As I mentioned, the 8 of Randy Oakham, unfortunately, trying to get his car up to speed there. Kind of modified. Was this in West Philadelphia? And normally the 2 car, Mike Kelly has the representation on his car. I know he's got Trans Service there as his main sponsor, but Jeff Ryan, you see him in a North Carolina 811 car. Also, Jimmy Coleman going another lap down. And then there's Brian Wortman, the last car in the lead lap. So my whole theory about look where Wortman is, you'll find the last car in the lead lap just went bye-bye for a second. Casey Carrington, a part of the All-American ARCA Series, joining us in chat, as always. Right about here Friday night, he went catch riding, or fence riding. I'll be doing some editing for those looking to watch the 811 Cup Series tomorrow night. They are actually off until next Monday night with the duels. I made the mistake and got the 6th mixed up with the 13th or 12th, whatever next Monday's date is. 13th, I guess that would be. So one thing I get down on myself about, it's like all this preparation. I've sat here and went to work on a lot of things, and it still comes down to making mistakes again. The 37 laps in the books. Mojica now up to the front with Gonzalez, Tommy Ryan, Kevin Brown, Chad Coleman. As we're just about 4 laps from the halfway point. Doing a great job. Chad Coleman, Mike Kelly. Now, Coleman won himself a truck race last season at Talladega, so he could be one to watch here on the Super Speedway. You see Casey Duncan up there, and it's 71. The 11, Ron Holyfield back there. Just about 3 laps away from the halfway point. Let's check back here on this other group. They're coming up on some more lap traffic here. Everybody doing a great job of working their way through it. So David Comstock that they're putting a lap down. So we have 29 cars on the lead lap here at just about the halfway point in this race. Just as I mentioned, the one caution so far, and it's all about being patient or getting to the finish. See Calantoni there working topside, helping out the 77 of Mark Creighton. So 40 laps complete next time. So let's take a look at the pit strategy and what we have coming up here. What's it going to take? Because they're going to still need one more stop here to get to the finish of this race with that caution lining up the way it did. There's a little pit board here. Everybody pitted at lap 19. You go 40 laps, 35 to 40 laps. That gets you to, well, Jose Gonzalez is coming out. So he's actually going to come flying down pit road. I doubt it. Yeah, there's no way he made it on speed. I wonder if he's got some kind of issue maybe and has to pull off. Oh, he flew through his pit stall too, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyways, I was about to say they should be able to go another 5 to 10 laps or so before they make that pit stop. But Jose Gonzalez coming in right now to get himself 4 tires in fuel on that 26 cars. You see the second pack go by, but likely a pit penalty there for the 26, unfortunately. So Mojica, Tommy Ryan up there with Kevin DeBrown. Question is, when do the pits happen? Nigel Standish on pit road. Unfortunately, he was damaged in that accident. Toward the trans service car, so the fun part about a new season, you get new sponsorship on new cars. Mohika running a black and gold trans service car, and then you got Mike Kelly running a gold and black. So we've got one pack of about 17 lead lap cars, and then it's a good 30 seconds back to a whole nother pack of cars that are just out here trying to do the best they can with the damage they have. How about that 77 up top there? That's Mark Creighton. He was also one of the drivers that started off of pit road along with the 58 and got that caution right when he needed it. So now he is good to go. And right there in the middle of this pack as Mohika, who coincidentally leading this race, won the 2022 Winter Series Super Speedway Championship that was run last season during the winter time. So he's got what it takes to win a championship. The only thing he hasn't done, though, has been successful on a super speedway track. And here tonight, he's looking pretty good right now, just past his halfway point. Maybe to jump out here and get the lead. There you see that big pack up there ahead. That's the pack that we were talking about with all the damaged cars. So when this pack gets to that pack, it could get very interesting. Tommy Ryan dropping to the bottom. Gillenwater down there in the 4, the 15 to Joe Hudson, who got himself a super speedway win here at Daytona in last Trans Service Winter Truck Series. It was about, 6 weeks ago or so? He went to victory lane. Look at these cars getting loose up top. Kevin DeBrown with a little wiggle. Chad Coleman had to slide it up the track a little bit to catch it. Handling coming into play here. As Jose Gonzalez coming on the back straightaway here, about to get lapped. Everybody giving each other plenty of room here. Open. Question is, depending on how much fuel you put in this car, how much are you taking of fuel, and then how many tires are you going to take? You going 2? You going 4? I think handling wise, the better decision might be 4 tires here. The 47 laps complete this time by. Tonight, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, obviously we appreciate you coming back and watching. First of many broadcasts you're going to see here on the Captain Esports Network this season of Sim500 Racing. Appreciate all the likes, all the views that we're getting here. Tommy Ryan and Mike Kelly. And you see this pack. I was wondering if this would be the time to bring them to pit road as they catch that pack. And we're going to have a lot of them coming to pit road here. Mike Kelly, Marinik, Tommy Ryan, Joe Hudson, Scott Simley, among others coming to pit road. We should see the rest of this field come to pit road right here. And you see Mojica has got up within the other group of cars, and here comes the rest of these leaders. Holyfield going to stay out. Casey Duncan, Doug Sigmund. Everybody got to get down to 55 miles an hour right here, and then you got to work with each other, not to bump into each other. Got to keep your head on a swivel here. Looks like Mojica taking tires, at least 2 in fuel. 11.2s, a lot of 11-second stops, which tells me 2 tires for everybody. 15.3 for Creighton, so he took 4. Looks like Alan Tony took 4. As now Casey Duncan coming to pit road. As Casey overshoots his pit stall. Very easy to do when you have the last pit stall. One benefit, I guess, of these cars here staying out is I had a little bit more fuel in the car. As Casey Duncan with issues coming back to the track. Casey's over here in turn 1 and 2. Oh, and into the inside wall. I wonder if he probably did take tires, but maybe lost control on the apron, which is very easy to do here. Yeah, who's giving me spoiler alerts? Come on. Oh, yep, that's exactly what happened. Casey got on the apron. Or was on the apron, but trying to catch the card. It's slick down there. Just put it like that, so I understand why that happened. So Ron Holyfield is carving through there like Thanksgiving turkey. And he leads this race with Doug Sigmund. Not sure when you're going to see the 11 come to pit road. But obviously when he does, it'll then translate the lead over to this pack of cars now. A pretty big deal in this series, And with obviously the wreck happening tonight, you see a lot of cars out there still competing. That's because every point's going to matter. I do appreciate all the Talking Giants people watching tonight, and hopefully you guys come back and watch. I might have to check out the pod myself while I'm out delivering packages during the week. Interested to know which mascots you're going to pick on. So we're looking at two separate packs right now. We got the leaders now, and then the eventual leaders back here. Tommy Ryan bringing an outside line with Hudson and those guys. The one thing I'm finding interesting right now is I'm looking at lap times with Ron Holyfield leading this pack. I'm going to say the last couple laps, I think they've been pulling away, but now I'm seeing the numbers coming down a little bit, so maybe not so much there. 23 to go. Oh dear. See, I'm looking over there and it says Holyfield and Sigmund pitted at 19. And when I do the math, 57 and 19 is 38, so they should be. I was actually doing the math wrong a little bit ago when they all pitted. One of my many issues. Math. I'm out of math. So yeah, literally these guys should be on pit road any minute, the top two. They come up on Mark Creighton there in his 77. So, once again, as I mentioned, next Monday night will be the first dual qualifying race for the North Carolina 811 Cup Series. That'll begin at 8:30 next Monday night. The next race broadcast we'll have will be Friday night's All-American ARCA Series from Daytona, presented by White River LLC. Yeah, they're going to be pitting here any minute. If I'm doing the math right here. They're at 40 laps right now, so if anything, the next lap or two, they'll be in. If they can go over 40 laps, that's the first miracle in itself right there. Tommy Ryan, the 811 on board. And here they come, those two cars we mentioned, Holyfield and Sigmund, coming to pit road. So this will cycle everybody back around. I think Holyfield was just trying to catch a yellow. Not a bad idea, and he could probably short fill here. Take 2 tires and maybe be able to attach on to the leaders as they go through 3 and 4, but it's going to be a pretty tough challenge here. As Brian Wortman's going to come to the pit road also. Four tires for Holyfield. Looks like Sigmund maybe with 4 tires. All right, pit stop cycle over with. Let's step away for a second. We'll come back and get you to the finish of race number 1 tonight, the Grand National Series, Sim500 and the North Carolina 811.org Grand National Series here on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
$18 laps to go here on the Captain Esports Network as you're watching Sim500 in the 811 Xfinity or Grand National Series. I did it again here at Daytona virtually on iRacing. Appreciate everybody joining us. I am the captain on this Sunday evening, first race of the season here as we continue speed weeks. Chad Coleman leading. Kevin Brown out there on that top side. Leading that outside lane, Tommy Ryan. Tom Dreiling, who was involved in that big wreck earlier, running in 5th. Joe Hudson's up there with Kelly, Simley. Those are teammates. Anthony Calantoni, Stefan Marinik. I've been calling him Steven. My apologies. Stefan. Can't even speak English. But those 10 cars right up here in this lead pack right now. See, the second pack has kind of been broken up a little bit. As they all came to pit road when we were in that quick little break. So one thing I'm wondering here, as we get later on into this race, I look at the cars that took 2 tires, I look at the cars that took 4 tires, and I have to ask the $1 million question here is who's going to be able to make the moves, because when you're in a situation like this and you're outlogging laps and getting through this race, you know, the older the tires get, the harder the car becomes to maneuver and to make swift turns and that kind of thing to make moves for the win. So you got to wonder, I mean, I look at a couple cars that are up in this pack that I believe took 4 tires at their last stop. And let's see, I see Tommy Ryan potentially being one. I see Joe Hudson. I see Anthony Calantoni. It looks like those drivers are on 4 tires here. And I think that could play an advantage as we get longer into this run. With the 2-car Mike Kelly, you see Dreiling there behind him in the 34, or in front of him in the 34. As they go around the Kevin Stone number 17 car. Stefan Marinik in the 1 car. Kevin got to be a little careful there. Got up high a little bit there. I don't know if that was more to give Tommy a little air or something, or if he just got a little aero issue. But Mojica jumps up there and is going to try outside of Coleman here and try to get this lead back. Getting about that time where aggression's going to take over. And speaking of aggression, the back pack here has gotten back together again. We haven't had a chance to do this yet tonight, so let's go ahead and do it here. 12 laps to go before we get to the end. And thanks to our partners, of course, at NorthCarolina811.org and also FrontStretch.com. It is time to turn it up for the first time in 2023. There you go. Presented by, of course, NorthCarolina811.org and FrontStretch.com. Of course, I'm a news writer for that website in 2023. And as soon as I'm done here, I'll be actually going to watch the Cup race and tweeting about it later and stuff. But looking forward to joining them this season, news writing and putting out articles and stuff. And you can check out part of the articles I've been a part of by going to FrontStretch.com. Sign up for the newsletter and more. Cover NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports car, dirt racing, iRacing, you name it, it's there. Go check out FrontStretch.com to get your information today. And you see the racing has amped up. Coleman, Mojica up top. That is Hudson. as we come to 7 laps to go. Look up _ Chris, Skala is the last name. I guess it'd be easier if I typed it. Let's do this. Keep that button there. There we go. See, the lap cars getting out of the way there as these guys race hard towards the finish. Tom Dreiling. How is he still? Oh, no, one car up the track. That was the 31 of Eric Arnold, and they're wrecking. And that's going to bring the caution out. With 6 laps to go, I think Bill Hales maybe got some damage from that, but something went wrong with the 31 car. And he come back on the track, and contact was made. Oh, dear. And looks like we're just going to end up short of a Sim500 overtime here, so let's see what happened. That was very odd. Oh, no, Gillenwater gets... Oh, no. I think that was Standish gets hit by Gillenwater. It looked like maybe the 31 had too much speed into the corners there. Oh, Bobby, too soon. Let's go on board here and let's turn the speed on here. I guess I can't do that when we're live. Or not live. Okay. Yeah, you can see that car's not turning. Bam, contact with Gillenwater. I think it's clobbered by the 8. That's there are gonna be some unhappy people after that one. Alright, so with handling playing a role here, if you're somebody back where Scott Simley, Mark Creighton, Doug Sigmund, Gerald Livingston, back here at the end of the top 10 or into 11th and 12th, 13th positions, are you coming for tires here? I sure am. But I'm not the driver. And there's probably a good reason why I'm not the driver. Looks like Holyfield maybe came to pit road here. So he's coming off of the apron here. Get a reminder, next 5 races are right there on the screen for the North Carolina 811.org Xfinity or Grand National Series. Oops, I did it again. All races, 8:30 Eastern Time. Matter of fact, every broadcasted series this season, 8:30 Eastern Time. You will see them. Homestead in 2 weeks. Auto Club, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Atlanta. But of course, next Monday night, the 811 Cup Series hits the track here at Daytona with qualifying and the duels. Bring your friends, bring family. Working on making the broadcast better for every league. I actually learned how to use GIMP a little bit ago, and it's worked out pretty well, as you see with the couple of things I've posted. Yeah, bring a date if you want to. Or if you're Casey, you'll just bring, let's see. I can't remember the guy's name. You can bring McAllister. How's that, Casey? Bring Gareth or bring, what's his name in the 06? I can't remember his name right now. My head is not on straight right now. But anyways. I will follow the both of you As we come to the green flag. Let's see if I can do this without seeing what happened in the race. Let's see. Actual spacing rule. As we're going to come to the green flag here, Chad Coleman, Pedro Mojica, Tom Drawley, Tommy Ryan, Mike Kelly, your top 5. I did not see Cal Antonio part of that unless he got smacked into the wall. As we come to the green flag, 3 laps to go. This is not a green-white checker. Cal Antoni's out of the race in 27th. I did not see him involved in that wreck, so I don't know what happened. Casey Duncan got the lucky dog. As Coleman, Mojica side by side. As they come to the line, 2 laps to go. Who makes the first move and when? Everybody's staying in line right now, just kind of pushing. I think Tommy Ryan's going to have to make the move here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Marinik maybe make a move. Joe Kelly, or Joe Hudson, I should say, in that 15 car, won the last race we had at Daytona here in a truck. Right there, Marinik makes the move. Might have been too soon, though, as Hudson goes to the middle. White flag, final lap in the first race of the season. Here comes Tommy to the outside, and they're going to go 3 deep now. That might have killed the outside lane, though, as you see Coleman kind of stretching out contact, and around goes Mojica. Hudson, Tommy Ryan, and others wreck. Chad Coleman with a couple damaged cars behind him. This might be his race to lose. Here comes Mike Kelly topside, with help from Kevin Brown. Coleman might need to block the top. He got there too late. To the line. It's going to be Mike Kelly in the 2 car, taking Trans-Service to victory lane at Daytona. Kevin and Brown gave him the push he needed, and Coleman, I understand what Chad was doing there, because he probably felt if he went to the top to make the block, the bottom was going to be open. That's a tough move, unfortunately. But Mike Kelly picks up the win. New sponsor. And he's going to get to burn this place down. Well, at least the car. So Mike Kelly becomes the 6th winner in 6 events here at Daytona in February. And obviously should be the points leader, I would guess, when it's all over with here. As he parks it up there on the start-finish line, he'll go get the checkered flag virtually, and we're going to step away. We'll come back, and we'll talk to the top 3 drivers and maybe a few more drivers. You never know what we'll have for you here on the post-race show presented by North Carolina 811 as you're watching the Sim500 Grand National Series on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back at Daytona. It is all over with. The season opener of the 2023 North Carolina 811 Grand National Series. With Mike Kelly going to victory lane by 8/100ths of a second over Chad Coleman. You see Kevin DeBrown outran him. Or Kevin DeBrown, I should say, fell up short by 3/1000ths of a second to Coleman. Dreiling finishes 4th after being involved in that big wreck. Scott Simley, top 5 for him. Doug Sigmund, great race for him, finishing 6th. Gerald Livingston, great run, finishing 7th. Mark Creighton, Stefan Baranek, and Casey Donkin comes back to a top 10. A lot of these cars here at the end involved in that last lap dust-up. We'll show you a replay of that, by the way, here in a second. Tommy Ryan finishes 12th. Pedro Mojica, Joe Hudson, Justin Fuller, Sam Harrell, Jose Gonzalez, Joey Jatina finishes in the 18th position. 19th goes to Andrew Teff, Nigel Standish, 20th, Bobby Wetzel, Bob Gillenwater, Steve Ritter, Kevin Stone, Brian Wortman, 25th, Tyler Dalton, John Hickman Jr., Eric Arnold finishes in the 28th position. 29th goes to Jimmy Coleman, Anthony Calantoni, 30th, David Comstock, 31st, Jeff Ryan, Bill Hales, Randy Yoakum, Doy Woods, Troy Radford, Steve Herring, and Jason Branch. Unfortunately, had all types of issues there at the beginning of the race and was not able to take the green flag. Let's talk to the drivers who got top 3s and maybe a couple others. I'm sure there's going to be some happy people, some unhappy people. Let's start with the guy that finished in the 3rd position tonight, and of course that being Kevin DeBrown. Kevin, man, you definitely are the pusher. Let's put it like that. And that last lap, it was definitely a tough decision on your part because obviously I know Chad Coleman's a teammate with team name, and of course you got Mike up there. Obviously you had to make a decision. It was a tough one, and you end up helping Mike get to victory lane, but a great top 3 finish for you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, hats off to Mike. We always set the end of these things. We work together, team name does, and then the last lap, it's all bets off no matter what. So, I mean, I was hoping to pass Mike there. I was hoping to push him up far enough where I could get a run coming out of 4 and pass him. But, you know, I'm happy with a top 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, a top 3 finish is always a good thing to come out of here with that kind of finish here in this race. Talk about the racing out there, because handling, obviously, came into play when it was over with, and especially in the long run. So that obviously had to be an obstacle. I know a couple times I watched your 93 car bobble a little bit, and I'm like, ooh. But in the end, that had to be another challenge in itself on a track like this. Oh,
yeah, definitely. We after that first caution, everybody pitted, and you know, everybody in the team name, they were like, oh, yeah, we're taking tires. I'm like, I'm not taking tires. It's a super speedway. You don't need tires. I immediately regretted it. I was loose like crazy when Mike was pushing me coming in the tri-oval in the corners. I'm surprised I didn't lose it. But it held itself out as the long run went on. really wasn't that bad, but at the initial part of it, it was horrible.
Make sure everybody checks out Liberty Insurance, by the way. So, with that said, man, great third place finish here tonight. Talk about some goals. What do you got for this season? Obviously, it's a good start to one, but obviously your goals. I know a championship's got to be there somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially after last season, I think we didn't make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure last season we had a really bad season last season. So definitely this season gonna make the playoffs. And Daniel not being here, we'd probably win one. So there goes that, But Pedro's here and Chad and Mike and all of them. It's gonna be hard, but I look forward to it.
All you gotta do is outrun a few of those guys, and you can do it. And tonight's a good start. Third place finish for you, man. Shout out to whoever you like to.
Chris Caboo painting a beautiful paint scheme, Racing Pride coming on this season, future season. You for putting on a beautiful broadcast. Real quick question, are you broadcasting Mondays as well?
I are.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited for it.
Unless Joey fires me, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I'm very excited. You are welcome to this league. I love watching your broadcast every time we race. So I appreciate that, and of course the Sim500 and everything.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words, and looking forward to talking to you a week from tomorrow for the duels and for qualifying.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Kevin DeBrown finishing in the third position. Let's get our second place finish here tonight. Chad Coleman gets it by 3/1000ths of a second. Chad, I was sitting there in my head, man, after the finish of that race. I'm sitting there like, okay, Chad didn't go top, but then I'm like, you know what? If he went top, he probably loses the bottom. So it was like, man, you were between a rock and a hard place on that last lap.
Yeah, the guy pushing me, Tom, he done a good job the whole race. I noticed he has some damage. I think he probably got it the earlier caution. And when the wreck happened in turn 1 on the white flag, I knew he was damaged from that point, but I got away from him a little bit, and I had a gap going down the back. So by the time he caught me, that drug Mike and Kevin to him also, and he couldn't stay on my bumper, basically. So once Mike and him got to the outside of us, they had like a 5 mile per hour run, and the only thing I could do was try to move Mike up the racetrack and hope it scrubbed some speed enough for me to maybe try to come back at him off of 4, but they just had too big of a run. I think middle of the corner, it was like 5 miles per hour. He cleared me easy. Tom wasn't able to push me in 3 and 4 with his damage.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, he piled in that wreck pretty good earlier, that first wreck at lap 19. But, man, still a great run. You got to lead some laps and a great start to the season, obviously, for you. And if I remember correctly, last season didn't start too well for you, so that's got to be something to feel good about.
Yeah, I mean, a finish is better than what we did last season.
That's fair.
Last season, I seemed like I ended up wrecked every other race. But, yeah, this is a good start. I'd have much rather won the race because, everybody likes winning.
Right.
But, and of course, too, man, I hate losing to people like Mike. But, I mean, at least I outran Kevin. So, I mean, that's another one that, I have to take him off the Christmas card list. He pushed Mike right by me.
Yeah, we'll have to...
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him.
You and I living in Georgia, I think we know some things we could send Mike and to Kevin. I mean, there's interesting stuff there on the list. All right, man.
There's a big body of water between me and Kevin. Might have to take him fishing.
There's a lake over here. It's pretty popular, too.
Yeah.
Just saying. But hey, nice job, man. Send some shout out to every lake, too.
Yeah, I just got to thank everybody at Sim500, and also thanks with everybody at Trans Service for sponsoring Pedro. I'm out messed up. Thanks to them for sponsoring Pedro. Thanks to 811 for sponsoring the series. And thanks to Joey, everybody else that has anything to do with Sim500. It's good to have the season started. And thanks to Gray for painting this car. I think 3 years ago now. But yeah, once again, thanks to 811. Need to call before you dig.
Please do. And I actually had that drink for the first time like a couple weeks ago. I'd never had it NOS.
It's all right. I'm not into energy drinks, but the car looks good.
Yeah, the car looks beautiful. So, hey, man, nice job.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Chad Coleman, they'll go down there and have some entertaining replay reviews and stuff. That's what they usually do. All right, let's talk to our winner, Mike Kelly. Mike, man, what a race it was. You kind of just stayed there and stayed in the running throughout the day, and I think with the paint scheme, should we say you struck gold?
Yes, sir. Oh my gosh, what a race! Hey, what a way to start it all off. Got the trans service Toyota Supra, ran up front all day like I tend to do, and then got the yellow at the end and said, "All right, I'm dead. Watch me crash now." But no, got a break. As a matter of fact, I should have been dead. If you watch that replay, you see the other trans service car take a pretty nice bounce off my right side, but I didn't even feel it, and it stayed stable. And then earlier on, when Joey got in that wreck, I could have been in the middle of that one easily too. So I guess I got some breaks tonight and brought that new sponsor. Glenn's going to be thrilled, by the way. We could have had 2 trans service cars up in there, but couldn't get them both up in there in the top 5. And boy, I tell you, after that wreck happened behind me coming down the backstretch, I was like, okay, this is going to be too easy. If Kevin Brown comes with me, it's all over. And he did, and we got a good run. And there, if Chad was going to block, we were going to crash. So he raced respectful, which I always expect him to do. And we race at these super speedways around each other all the time. And it just set up right. And I got a good run off 4 and got such a good run that Kevin couldn't make a move on me and just smoked that super to the start finish and took home the first win of the 2023 season.
Yeah, you definitely kicked it off with a bang there. When it was all said and done. And I think the last time I saw you on the track, I'm pretty sure, I don't have a video camera of you, obviously, and it's probably a good thing. But I'm pretty sure you were slamming things off the hinges and breaking windows and things out of anger. So I'm sure this feels better.
Thankfully, I must have forgot about that already. But, yeah. Hey, that's Daytona, or wherever we were, super speedway tracks. You know, it's a roll of the dice.
It is, man. You definitely rolled gold, as I said earlier. But hey, man, nice job, congratulations, and you're the points leader. I think also that's got to make you feel good. You got a couple
never led a lap till the last one.
Most people do that too. As a matter of fact, who is it? I was reading a weird stat on Twitter. There's a driver out there. I forget who it is. His only win. And his only lap led of his career was that win. I can't remember who it is. It's a Cup driver. But anyways, great job tonight, and congratulations. Send some shout-outs whoever you like. What's that?
Derek Cope?
No, it's not Derek Cope. He actually won more than one race. He actually won it over that year. But send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
All right, well, definitely special thanks again to Glenn and everybody at Trans Service. Not sure where Glenn was, but super stoked to have them on board this year. Got them on the car in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. And got NC811 back, full-blown sponsorship for the Cup Series this year. So got some sponsors. I got to keep happy, and great for those guys to be here in Sim500 and on my car this year. And Turn 1 Heroes had a pretty good run tonight with Simley. And Stefan Marinac, the man, is back. It's been a long time since he's been here and racing with us. And got everybody home in the top 10 except Steve tonight, so good run for the team. And shout out to everyone at Sim500, all the fans, drivers, crews, sponsors. Joey Jatina putting on a hell of a show as also. And he took out half the field, so good night for him. And special thanks to my smoking hot wife.
Oh, the old bazinga there from Mike Kelly. Well done, sir. Well, great job. And now I'm going to be sitting here mad at myself trying to figure out who that driver was.
Well, you go get on Google, and I'm going to go have a beer with the crew.
Attaboy. Go enjoy that brouhaha, and do it safely, by the way. And congratulations.
You bet. Thanks,
all right, buddy. Mike Kelly with the win here tonight at Daytona. What a race it was for him and for these others. Had the 2 cautions in the end. Right? Yeah, 2 cautions in the end. Plenty of lead changes. Great racing, and that's what's going to happen here at Sim500. As I talked about, this league separates itself when it comes to super speedway racing. And next week when the Cup Series hits the track, it is going to be more of the same. All right, a reminder, when you see this end screen pop up here that I have, it's going to say tomorrow night there's the duels and the qualifying. That's not happening. That's next week. But the rest of the week, as you take a look at the schedule of what is coming up, there you go. It even has the races that I'll be racing and streaming, so you can come cheer me on and listen to me probably cuss somebody out. It happens sometimes. But in all seriousness, though, great job, too. It was not McDowell, by the way. McDowell's led more than 1 lap. But great job to the field. Great job to North Carolina 811 for being a sponsor to the series. Thank you to Front Stretch for sponsoring, of course, the Captain Esports Network. And make sure you go give them a subscription for their newsletter and stuff. It's free. And you can check out their Friday Face-Off, which features some weird guy talking about the race that's on right now. So we're going to go watch that and go from there. But appreciate everybody for watching us here on the Captain Esports Network. And as always, remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is